Welcome back, Lexurious Fleet. Lexus has just canceled 3 models for the European market. And today we'll discuss the failure of these models, look at the sales numbers specifically for Europe, and discuss what Lexus needs to do in order to grow in the toughest luxury market in the world. And guys, if you enjoy my coverage on Japanese and Korean autos, make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more deep dive videos like today's and also for future car reviews. For example, I have a Hyundai Sonata in the driveway that I'm currently reviewing and many more to come. Over at Automotive News Europe, Lexus will drop 3 models in Europe to focus on SUVs. And we see the UX here that's playing a huge role in their strategy. So the 3 models. Comes as no surprise that the CT compact hatchback is being canceled. It was canceled here in 2017 in the United States. So about time, because even though they refreshed it, I believe in 2017 for Europe, I mean, it's a complete joke compared to, let's say, the Toyota Yaris Cross. Way better vehicle, way more modern, way more efficient. The IS has been canceled, and we knew the IS was canceled once we got confirmation that the refresh coming for Japan, the United States, that we just got here this month for the IS. We knew it wasn't coming for Europe, and that was a signal of the IS going to be canceled, okay, for the European market. And lastly, the RC Coupe. Now they're saying that the RCF will continue to survive in Europe. The RCF with a 5-liter 2UR engine with 400 and about 470 horsepower on the RCF. Now, I feel like they have to have some F offering, otherwise they have failed completely against the AMGs and the BMW series. So they got to keep the F division alive, and right now I have no idea how they're going to do it with the RCF kind of just keeping the brand afloat. There's just one model since the GSF was canceled, and the ISF has been gone for a long time. So that brand has always kind of been a joke, but maybe I've already made videos on that, but that's definitely a topic for another time because, yeah, the F, they're just trying to kill the F, it feels like at this point. Lexus said it would also continue to offer the LS despite selling just 58 units of the premium sedan in the first 8 months. They say they're going to bring an updated version of the LS, which will go on sale in Europe, to showcase new assisted driving technology, said Koji Sato, and capable of over-the-air updates. That's good. And the LS is just there for, I guess, to save face, because it has never done well in Europe against the 7 Series or the S-Class. If we look at LS sales in Europe, in 2019 they sold 248 units. It's going to be even less this year. The fact that they're pulling out models that sold more than the LS is, to me, just says LS is there for their pride, and the fact that they feel to be a premium luxury brand, they need to have a model at least available to confront the 7 Series and the S-Class. Hey guys, an idea just came in my head while I was editing the video. I thought I was done, but they need a new flagship. That new flagship would be the LF1 Limitless. Maybe they call it the LQ, but that would be their flagship crossover to combat against the Porsche Cayennes, the Audi Q8. LF1 flagship, of course, would be a plug-in hybrid, fully electric possibly, but yeah, we know hybrids is a way to go. We'll talk more about that later in the video, but LS is there for now. It might always stay there as a sense of pride, but really what's the most important, if they want to have flagship notoriety in Europe, they got to have the LF1 as a production model as soon as possible. Now, the ES will stay in the European lineup. The ES replaced the GS a few years back. I believe that was in 2018 for the 2019 model year. Hybrids accounted for 96% of Lexus' first half sales in Western Europe, and that is going to be, of course, their bread and butter going forward in the foreseeable future for Lexus. If we go over to Lexus Newsroom, this was earlier this year in January, before COVID. It's still crazy as 2020. Lexus posts record sales and 6th consecutive year of growth in Europe. Now, this is total of Europe, 87,206. European Union, if we go to the European Union, Lexus sold around 56,000 last year, which was about a 20% growth. If we look at a different sales figure for Europe, scroll down to 2019, 55,801, almost a 21% growth depending on which numbers you're looking at. Now we're going to break down model per model sales. We're gonna start with the CT. The CT is actually selling more more volume than I thought they were. Last year they sold a little over 5,000, and it peaked in the very first year they offered it, a good 2012, and then I would say once it started to drip below 10,000 here, it never quite recovered. The car is just, it's not competitive. I can't believe they're still selling it. They should have canceled it there several years ago. Lexus IS. As far as I know, they've only been offering the IS hybrid for a few years now, which the IS hybrid is not competitive performance-wise. So it made sense that they canceled it because the poor product planning at this point for Lexus and their sedans has put them in this position where they have to cancel models. Hybrid IS has just a little over 200 horsepower. Fuel economy is pretty good from what I hear, but it's not what that model needs in Europe in order to be competitive. Okay, so you can just see when the IS in its early years, 2006, 2007, sold pretty well. Even when it first came out in the late 90s, selling over 5 figures there. And then it just has never come close. I guess in 2014, when they brought the new model out, they had a small surge in sales. But look at this in 2019. But when you don't have a competitive product, sales don't do well. RC, now this is more of a niche model vehicle. I'm not really going to dive too much on the RC. Now the RC, to my knowledge, as well, has offered a hybrid, the same hybrid setup that we see in the IS, that we never got here in the States. But yeah, only selling about 1,000 models a year. It's not worth it for them to import. And they probably are just like, hey, we're folding our hand because we can't keep up with the coupes from Audi, BMW, and Mercedes. Now we're going to look at the UX because this thing is a big reason why Lexus has grown 20% in 2019. And it is doing well in 2020 as well. So if you look in January of 2020, 1,800 units, and look in July, again, 1,800 units. August wasn't that good of a month for them. But again, it's going to have a pretty good year, all things considering with COVID. It's going to have a pretty good year. Last year, it sold 17,000 units. But if I go back to the Lexus article here, they say that the UX sold almost 21,000 units in all of Europe. And I feel like the UX is just a huge part of their strategy going forward. Now, if we go over to Lexus Enthusiast real quick, they chimed in on the cancellation of these models in Great Britain, but it's affecting, as far as I know, most of Western Europe, the cancellation of the IS, RC, and CT. Now, they also say at the very bottom here, Autocar mentions that a crossover smaller than the UX is in the works for a possible 2021. So that would be the LBX, or at least that's what we're guessing, which is based off the Yaris Cross. So they're canceling the CT, possibly to make room for the Yaris Cross, which is all-wheel drive. It's going to have great efficiency, and I would love to have that vehicle here in the US. And a lot of people on my channel have commented they'd rather have an LBX or a Yaris Cross Lexus version than the current UX. But I think they both have their place. Maybe not in the United States, but definitely in Europe. If we look at the NX sales real quick, 2019 still selling 17,000 units in Western Europe. Sales have been pretty strong on that model, despite it being aged, despite it being really far behind the competition in a lot of ways at this point. I feel like even though this is the most important segment for Lexus, they haven't brought the new model out soon enough. Typically, a new redesign comes out every 6 years. This car came out in 2014, and here we are in 2020 without the new model. So it is supposed to be coming in October of 2021 for the NX. With a redesign, it'll have plug-in hybrid. It'll have lots of different powertrain options, at least here in the States. In Europe, hopefully you guys get the new turbocharged option as well. But you guys might only get the hybrid and plug-in hybrid options, the way things are looking for you guys over there. RX sells well too, and that car is dated in addition to this NX, so hopefully that comes out in 2022. So with that being said, what we have left in Europe is a lot of crossovers, pretty much hybrid only in Western Europe. I think some parts of Europe still get the Land Cruiser Prado GX 460, and I think there might be some markets where the GX gets a V6 as well, and maybe some diesels too. But what does Lexus need to be able to compete going forward? Well, I think entering an LBX or a B segment crossover would be really nice to compete with the smallest crossover offerings in Europe. A new NX can't come out soon enough, and that could be a huge capture in market share for them. Now, they grew 20% last year, largely thanks to the UX. The UX going forward is still going to be a very popular vehicle for them in Europe. They have the fully electric version of the UX 300e already in Europe. I would love to drive it. I don't think I'll ever get a chance, not in any time in the near future, but it is the first electric vehicle for Lexus. It's slow, range is maybe 150 to 170 miles, but it's faster than the current hybrid UX, and it's fully electric. So I guess it's progress in some sense of the word. Now, speaking of full electrification or battery electric, Lexus is going to be bringing, well, they trademarked it here in the United States anyways, the RZ350, and that's going to be on the TNGA or the eTNGA platform shared with Subaru. I believe that is going to be the first fully electric platform that we'll see a vehicle in. The RZ350 hitting Europe, who knows, could be 2023. That would be my guess. After the NX is redesigned, after the RX is redesigned, and then I feel like they have some momentum definitely going forward. I would love to see a plug-in hybrid of the UX. I know I'm kind of all over the place with my thoughts, guys. I didn't script this. I don't have any direction. I'm just kind of spilling it all out when thoughts come into my head. So UX is doing well for them. Hybrid, electric. If they have a plug-in hybrid, that would be fantastic. But again, who knows? Speaking of plug-in hybrid, I think that's going to be a huge part of Lexus's strategy in Europe. Initially, it will come over to the United States over time. Europe has higher emission standards, so they already have pretty much hybridized their entire lineup. The next step for more performance and more flexibility and better emissions would be a plug-in hybrid, which the NX is going to be the first one, then the RX, hopefully the UX. ES would be great. I just don't have high hopes with the ES. That car continues to be an excellent vehicle here in the United States. They just added all-wheel drive to it only for the United States or the North American market. They really need a plug-in hybrid of it, in my opinion, with all-wheel drive for it to be a true global product. So we'll see what happens with the ES, but I don't have high hopes for it after Lexus decided to bring the ES 250 back from the dead since 1989. And guys, what are your thoughts? Are you sad about the discontinuation of the CT, the IS, and the RC in Europe? Doesn't really surprise me. Sales weren't good on any of those models. IS needed to be updated and never was, only for the American market anyways. CT wasn't updated enough, and with new technologies coming out, is pretty much a relic still on sale. And the RC was very much a niche product that they really didn't need to have anyways, even though the RCF lives on. And do you think, guys, plug-in hybrids is the road to success in the future for Lexus, with the addition of maybe a small crossover like the LBX, Yaris Cross sort of vehicle, and the addition of more fully electrified vehicles, maybe the RZ350 that has been trademarked? Guys, and if you made it this far into the video with all my ramblings and my discombobulated thoughts from here to there, definitely smash the like button. That helps me out so much. If you enjoy my content, again, subscribe if you're not. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. I can't wait to see you in the comments. As always, take care of yourselves and peace out.